Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video, we'll be ranking every update in Skyblock. Before we start the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, channel memberships are launched on the channel, so click the join button and become one of 3 tiers. One last thing, don't forget to join the Discord, link in description. That's all from me, on to the video. On June 11th, 2019, Skyblock was released as a prototype game. This was a unique style game that brought tons of players to the server. It was the biggest server peak since Bed Wars. Skyblock was an MMORPG which had players traveling through areas of the game, leveling up their player, and getting stronger. On July 2nd, 2019, the Fishing and Dark Auction update was released. They completely revamped fishing to be custom, including sea creatures and numerous treasure drops, as well as released the Dark Auction. The Dark Auction is a secret location only enterable 5 minutes before midnight on every 3rd Skyblock day, or the 55th minute of every hour. The Dark Auction was a live bidding auction where players could compete for special items. The Dark Auction has received numerous updates since then, and its release was pretty huge, adding the Midas Sword and many other things. Also, the fishing update was drastic, completely revamping and making what fishing in Skyblock is today. Because of how important both of these features are, the Dark Auction and the complete new fishing system, I'd have to rank this update an A. On July 9th, 2019, the guesting, teleport pad, and island changes were released. This not only let players add teleport pads to their island, letting them travel places quickly, but it also added the /visit command, letting players quickly guest other players' islands and see what they were doing. The ability to visit other players is pretty essential, and teleport pads were used for many things in Skyblock. However, these changes don't really make it a content update, but rather sort of a quality of life update, so we're going to rank this a B. On August 2nd, 2019, the End Island was released, bringing tons of new dragon armor sets, the aspect of the dragons, ender armor, and many other things into the game. This is a huge point of content for progression in Skyblock to everyone, and is definitely essential in Skyblock's development. The End update is one of the greatest updates in all of Skyblock. It's tons of fun, it was amazing content at the time, and it still is, which is why the End Island is an S+ update. On October 11th, 2019, the Slayer update was released, adding 3 Slayer bosses, each with 5 tiers. The Slayer update introduced tons of new items, buffs, and grind. I still remember when people thought that Slayer, when leaked, was actually the Dungeons update. Pretty funny. Although there are tons of people that hate the Slayer update for being extremely grindy, the Slayer update is still pretty important in Skyblock. However, as important it is, I still can say that I agree. It is very grindy and doesn't give too many rewards, which is why the Slayer update is a B in my opinion. On October 24th, 2019, the Spooky update was released, adding a new event, an event NPC shop that sold talismans and new gear, and it was pretty interactive at the time. Soon after release, we learned that the event is actually permanent and happens every 5 real-life days, instead of just on real-life Halloween. This was a pretty cool update, adding an interactive competition event. However, it really isn't that great for content, so I'm gonna give it a B. On November 11th, 2019, the foraging floating islands were revamped into The Park. The Park is a brand new foraging island that had players on a massive, beautifully designed floating structure. In a staircase fashion, the forests followed a river and changed log type as they went through the different biomes. Not only is this a greatly designed island as it's beautiful in design, it also added many new quests to the game. For example, Melody's Harp quest, adding a new epic talisman and a fun minigame, unless you have bad ping or live in Australia. The park update was crucial for its time, as the original floating islands were horrible for foraging and everything they were supposed to give. 3 new quest talismans was pretty cool, including the campfire, and a new cave region to farm wolves. This update is a definite S. On December 18th, 2019, the Jerry update was released, adding the new Frozen Island for the Christmas event. This event added gifts, a new island to explore, and frozen sea creatures. However, at the time, they were pretty useless, as the Yeti pet was not in the game yet. Without the Yeti pet, there's barely any content on the Jerry Island, other than it being a low-rewarding lag fest. So I'm sorry, Jerry, but at the current time, your event is a D. After the holiday break, the admins were finally ready to add a new update. On February 21st, Pets Update was released. Not only did this turn existing pets into actual pets that have stats, it also added 28 pets to the game. Pets are huge for Skyblock. Think about it. You have your items, your armor sets, and now you could have a pet that buffs whatever you're doing at the current time. Skill XP, damage, you name it. The Pets Update was huge for Skyblock, making the chicken minion, chicken collection, and eggs actually useful, adding pets, a complementary item to any build, and changing Skyblock forever, which is why Pets Update S+. On March 9th, 2020, NPC shops could only sell you 10 stacks of each item per day. However, the Bazaar was released. The Bazaar was a new player-by-player market to trade every item possible. With buy orders, sell offers, sell instantly, and buy instantly, the market was entirely changed, letting players decide the price when they wanted to. The Bazaar completely changed how players used coins and items, letting them trade between players in an order style. With managing Bazaar orders and looking at advanced graphs, the math nerds could finally show their skills, with economy flipping. Although Bazaar changed the way we use coins and how we interact with other players based on market trading, the update didn't really add much content. It was just a new way to do what we already could, which is why it's an A. On May 5th, 2020, the Pets update got an older brother, with Pets V2, upgrading the pet house, adding 3 new NPCs, and tons of new pets. Such pets as the Black Cat, Endermite, Golem Pet, and many other pets we use today. This update also added pet items and pet candy to customize your pet to the build you want. Cat let players upgrade their pets to a higher rarity without buying a new one. And George set up shop to scam players daily. This update also added a new secret boss, the Endstone Protector, that spawns in the end, bringing even more content to the end, dropping the Golem Pet and the Tier Boost core, to craft a tier boost which upgrades pets 1 rarity. Pets v2 was a great expansion to the pets we already knew and loved, adding new pets to complement new builds, pet items, and pet candy, and for that reason, Pets v2 is an S. On July 1st, 2020, the Dungeon Preparation Update was launched, completely changing Reforges, the Reforge table, adding tons of new special Reforges, and the Dungeon Hub. Another change in this update was the fix of magic damage and intelligence. Finally, magic weapons would do as they were supposed to. And while this definitely helped mage be useful than 100 damage per attack, it also caused the uprising of frozen scythe users. The Dungeon Preparations update got players even more hyped for the update that they had been waiting for. However, this wasn't much content, so we'll just list it as a C. 6 days after the Dungeon Preparations update was released, the Catacombs were launched on July 7th, 2020, releasing with entrance, floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3. Everyone was super hyped. It was the update we've been waiting so long for, and it was pretty fun. Tons of custom mechanics, great interactive gameplay, and much more. However, the base floors are not that entertaining and don't give that much loot. So, I will be giving the original release of the Catacombs an A. On July 30th, 2020, players got the next update to the Catacombs, adding floor 4 with the new boss Thorn, the Shaman Necromancer. using powerful spells to summon dead animals in an amazing Colosseum fight. You can tell that this update was well developed and took time. This is a quality boss fight that is pretty fun, giving new items such as the Spirit Scepter and the Bone Meringue, which are still top weapons today. And for those reasons, the Floor 4 release is an S+. On September 8th, 2020, the community update was released, adding a new mayor system to vote for a mayor to buff Skyblock. Not only that, it added city projects so that players could work to upgrade the hub. It also added the community shop, with city projects, account and profile upgrades, buying booster cookies, spending bits, and buying skins. Some players regard this as the launch of pay-to-win onto the server, but it let Hypixel gain new staff members and release more updates than ever. The community shop add-ons are really cool and big to Skyblock, especially the 5 new minion slots, and it was a really quality update. And for those reasons, I have to give the community update an S. On September 11th and October 1st, floors 5 and 6 were released respectively. Both of these floors were the complete opposite of each other. One was really fast and easy to do, but seemed rushed and underdeveloped, and the other one was pain. Super long, a forced minute and a half of waiting, and not too much payout. Both of these dungeon floors were pretty mediocre. Not too entertaining, not too great, really just meh, which is why both of them will be in B tier. On October 15th, 2020, the next community project was finished, the Builder's House, introducing a new Builder Shop menu to buy many blocks at once. It also added a bigger menu for the Wool Weaver to buy colored blocks, and a useless NPC called the Redstone Engineer because most redstone is limited in Skyblock anyways. The Builder's House wasn't really much content, it was pretty lame, it was just a bigger shop menu for the same NPC, and that's why the Builder's House community project is a D. The next community project was released 5 days later, and on October 20th, 2020, the Blacksmiths Workspace was upgraded, adding the new Smithmonger NPC with tons of skill-based reforges. This update was pretty good, it made a lot of skills easier to grind, but still not really content. C. Between October 30th and November 2nd, 2020, Spooky V2 and Spooky Fishing were both released. Spooky V2 introduced new drops for Spooky, as well as a more player-friendly method, with hit-based mobs so that any player could complete the event. Spooky Fishing also added new Spooky Fishing items, as well as tons of new content for fishermen. Spooky V2 was a pretty mediocre update, and all it really did was made fishing more profitable for those 3 hours. So for me, Spooky V2 is a B. On November 6th, 2020, the Farm Merchant's Dwelling community project was finished, adding a new Jacob's event, the Jacob NPC, and the Anita NPC, as well as tons of new farming items. Using the Builder's one from the community update, as well as the new farming tools from the farming update, players began to build massive farming structures, as it only took a couple of hours. The farming update also added Farming 60. The farming update made the farming skill much more interactive and fun to do, and it also made players use a variety of crops. For these reasons, the Farming Overhaul will be an S. On November 17th, 2020, Floor 7 was released, and in the notes it was confirmed that Floors 8, 9, and 10 would be cancelled. Floor 7 was Necron. The Necron boss fight is amazing. It's the best floor, hands down, for loot, speed, and it's really fun too. With a high XP output, tons of profit to be made, and an entertaining gameplay, this floor is amazing. And for these reasons, I'm going to give Floor 7, the end of the Catacombs, an S+. December 4th, 2020 added the Enchanting Overhaul, completely redesigning the skill, with the new experimentation table allowing players to do custom experiments in a cool GUI. Cool little puzzles, high enchanting XP gain. It also made the Guardian pet an enchanting skill pet for tons of taming XP. The Enchanting Overhaul update is pretty good. Basically, it just gave everyone a free level 60 skill because of how easy the XP is to gain. However, the update wasn't too much content, and it really wasn't too great, so we're going to give it a B. Welp, we made it. Here we are at present day. On January 15th, 2021, the Dwarven Mines was released, completely revamping mining, adding mining 60, tons of quests to complete, a huge island, and tons to explore. The island itself is more focused on mid-game gameplay, which didn't make it too exciting for endgame players. In the eyes of a late or endgame player, this update is pretty disappointing, but if you think about the perspective from other players that aren't too ahead, they have had to watch endgame players get floor 6, floor 7, all these endgame updates, and they never got anything. The Dwarven Mines is actually really good content if you take a look into it. However, it is a little boring, so we're gonna give it an A. As of January 28th, one day before posting this video, the only thing we have left to wait for is the Bartender's Brewery, with the new tier of Zombie Slayer and a bartender upgrade. As of now, we don't really know what the next update's gonna be, as we just received the Dwarven Mines. I know some players are disappointed, we haven't got a lot of content in a big while, and lots of people are starting to quit, take a break, whatever. Like I said in the beginning, if you agree with me, tell me why in the comments. If you disagree, tell me what your opinion is and why. Thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.